Here we are on April 28th, prior to the open. It's about a half an hour before the open. And now we have the opportunity to see how the overnight market has performed. So in conjunction with our discussion from yesterday in the pre-market video, we still see evidence here of a head and shoulders pattern. We look at where the market spent most of its time in the overnight. 86.25, which is exactly where we are right now, is was the close from yesterday. So that puts us right about there. And so for the majority of the time, yeah, we were below the close. Now, this morning, a little bit more above. We've got a little room. We could still form a head and shoulders pattern, but this is almost perfect, because if you look at where the top of the 25th was, that's almost where the top is here. And even if it went a little bit higher, it wouldn't change the pattern too much, unless, of course, we go higher than this. With all of the downside here still in the makes, I think the call for a short here is probably a little bit better. But I think what we can also say, in now looking at the volume matrix, is that is our top here is not really well formed. It really isn't well formed. If we look at the actual volume, and maybe I can just pull this up. Yeah, here's the actual volume right now. And the volume, as you can see, we've got a nice tail here. This is not particularly well formed. It looks like we've got more to go on the upside. So I would think that we will probably be long, at least at the start. Probably head higher at the start. But now we'll have to look very carefully at the premium as we go up. All right, because this is not very well formed. And when we look at that composite market profile, 90.25 is the upper value area over the past 3 days, the 24th, 25th, and 26th. I meant 4 days. So that could be a potential target. So I'm just looking at the INX over the past 1, 2, 3, 4 days. We have 93.25 as the upper value area, 88.06, TPOC, 81.15, the low value area. And we will open just about where we closed. So kind of looks like the upside is going to win this. And just a quick look here. Yeah, not particularly well formed here, but not bad, not bad. Okay, it kind of looks like the upside is going to win. And maybe a bounce off of the low value area here. And keeping in mind the composite again 81. So let's take a look. Watch carefully. All right, we are about 15 minutes from the open, and we'll come back. Here we are at the open, and once again, it does appear as if we are probably in for a long. Looking at the big picture, we've already retraced there, moving up. All right, so I think we are good to go, and here we are at the open. We've gapped up higher than we expected on the INX. INX is above the upper value area, and we're moving down. Point of control is way down here. We have a low volume node at 85.75. So we drop below that level that we just pointed out. Low volume in here, low volume in here, and we don't really get back to the POC until right in here. That's a more likely target, right around 89.32, and still dropping. Fill that little area. We've got lots of areas in here that are going to need repair, so I we want to be looking at a long. I think we might go just a little bit lower, back to the close to the open, which is we're very close to right now. We'll come back, repair that area, and then perhaps a good long trade right in there to right up might work well. Let's come back in a couple of minutes. Let's see if we drop a little bit lower. A little bit lower. Okay, we may have it there. We've gotten into a long situation, but I'm not real confident of it. We went way down to the low value area. Let me see if we can get that up here. There's considerable divergence here. I think a long trade in here makes good sense. Now let's just hope it continues to go up, but it's not looking good right now. $83.50 was the low. And we have a stop right below the low. Good. Good. All right. Let's take a look here. Oh, that's not very good. I don't really like the way that's formed down there. So I'm not terribly comfortable with what I see. I think we may have to try this again because I'm not comfortable with the way that looks. We've got repair work to do, and I am looking for a long here, but I think we're moving down before we're going to move back up. We're going to test that low value area, which presently is right down there at 88.02. So I'm going to get rid of that line. Premium is all divergent here, but I'll come back in a minute. All right, there's our unfinished business. Yeah, we're going lower. Well, we took a short up here. Yeah, we just hit it. Let's get out of this. Draw your attention to this chart. I'm pretty sure we just hit it. See the low area in here? Right down here at 87.20, or pardon me. Okay, 87.24 is where we drop off in volume from the profile yesterday. We had a secondary area right in here at 86. I'm just using this line that's not exact. But we dropped to 87.53, which was just about 0.2 of a point higher than that 87.24 line that we just drew as a point of reference. Now, inasmuch as we drop down there, we've got a low bar on the premium here. Maybe not. Maybe we've got. We're going to need to check that one more time. Maybe not. Let's wait to see if we should be coming back down. Premium would suggest that. However, you are still divergent. 466, 472. You've got some divergence in here. So let's just give this a moment. it's divergent compared to 472. It is not divergent on its own right. All right. There is some, this looks a bit like a naked bar. But we've had that before. All right. We had one very similar to this yesterday. Let me draw your attention to what I'm looking at. I'm not long yet. I'm not in, and I hope I'm right. But look closely here. That was your low. But look at the INX. 87, 54, 53 on the next bar. You went lower on the next bar. Now, that will generate a divergence. Okay? That'll generate a divergence, and that's why you see the low of the next bar considerably higher. It's considerably higher. And that can be a little sneaky, making that look like it's a naked bar, when in fact the next bar on the INX went lower. So we're just going to have to see. Look for a long trade here. We may want to just take some risk here and get in, not at the best time by any stretch, but keeping a stop in case we are wrong and that was the low, and this is going to start to rally strongly up to those areas of repair. Okay, we'll come back in a couple of minutes, see how that's working. So we're right at the TPO. Looks like we may be coming down again. Here we go. I'll look at this carefully. There's our low. Here's our low here. All right, that's good. That's good. All right. Now that divergence, we've got divergence in here. That's a wrong reading. We're going to refresh. Yeah, it's 445. So we've stepped up, of course, but we've also got a higher low, so that's nothing special. But the fact that we didn't go any lower here below that low value area is good. Now I see the value, the TPO on the ES is at 85. Here it's showing at 475. All right, we need to get above that 362 area. We need to spike above that. That's failing. Yeah, I don't like that lower bar here. Because that would suggest we're going back to 84.25. Okay, went back to 84. Lower value area here. Low value area here. Yeah, not good. Nope, nope, nope. Looks like we're going back to test that low. Okay. Well, maybe not, maybe not. Let's be reasonable about this. You've got lower lows. Just look at the INX here. Look at the premium here. So maybe not. So we jumped in again on a long trade. Somewhat just a gut decision here. We're in at 84. And it's working. It's working. Okay. All right. Now look at the just got a couple of contracts going here. Now when we came up and hit that last time, that pivot, we dropped again on the premium. it's just really calling into question our long trade. That's a heads up, tighten the stop. This, we may not be ready yet. So we're not going to lose anything on this. But it's just not looking real favorable. Again, the premium is coming up a little bit, but not as much as I would like. So we are not going to risk anything, and we will get out of this position. We are flat, not losing anything, but the market's just not ready to take off yet. And when that's the case, it's usually a good indication that we haven't gone low enough here. I think we're close. 87.24 is where I would really think maybe a tick below where we are right now. That really wasn't, I didn't say that quite correctly. I'm looking at close to 87.24. All right, there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. All right, now. That's where I expected this to go. Now we're long again. $84.31, that makes sense. Now look at this. Here's that low that we said that could be a naked bar, maybe not. All right. We didn't go lower here. We didn't go lower. Pardon me. Didn't go lower here. Finally went lower here. All right. 466, 431. Okay. Get the picture? All right, this could come back down and then begin to move back up. So we'll just come back in a couple of minutes and see. Now this is the chart that we were working from. And that's really closer to where that was. Now, what I hadn't really noticed was a little area of repair in here. That's not significant in my estimation, but it's interesting that that's just exactly where it went. That little area of repair. Now, the question is this going to hold? Because if it doesn't, the next step is going down here to the low value area from yesterday. And I think we're still long, only because we've got such an area of repair above. So in my estimation, that's where we need to go. We need to go up to repair before we come down to hit new lows, but it doesn't always work that way. But that's the direction that we're trading. All right, let's go back and take a look at the premium. Now, once again, this just isn't looking good. It isn't looking good because what we normally see take place here, if that was the low, this thing would rocket up. We'd have a lot more buying going on than we do right now. We're long, but I'm not. I'm not proud. If this was long, we should be really shooting up, and it's not happening yet. And the premium's really not going that much higher. 362 is where this thing needs to be. This was at this threshold 357. All right, now we broke. Yeah, I was about to say we broke that, and that's good. Now, if it sustains, okay, maybe we'll make it up to the POC. But usually it doesn't take this kind of a pattern. We come down, we come up, it's bold, it's robust, and it's not happening. So maybe we've got a little, everything is showing up here on the premium, but I think we've got a downside still here. Let's look at that. Let's look at the and that's not much of a tail, is it? That's not much of a tail. Okay. Now watch this area in here, see if we fill in this little area of repair. Didn't even make it up that high. We are still short. Okay, so let's go back, take a look. Little area of repair in there. And so now the low value area here at 86 on the INX. That would seem to be the target. So our call this morning in the first hour of trading, we were anticipating this thing would move up, but we gapped, we opened higher than we expected. Okay, we opened way up there, and that was already at the TPOC from yesterday, and went a little bit higher. Now, if we would have opened down here, I think we would have gone up. But that higher open was a little surprising to me. I think we were higher than I expected. And so we were already there when the market was ready to, well, there was no more buyers up there. It's really what it amounts to. We would have had buyers perhaps down in this range, but and down in here, because we closed, let's make sure, yeah, we closed just below the TPOC in here. So we expected a little bit of a bounce, but that's not where we opened, see? And that's just about where we opened on the ES. We opened way up here. I'm really surprised at that. So, gotta take that into consideration. Yeah, this was really surprising, very surprising. Let's just quickly look at this logic, and we're not going to have much more time to talk about it. But again, just going to make this real plain. Okay. There's the close, 88.77. Now look at the ES. Let's use this. Okay. This is the overnight market. The close, okay, just so you can see it, was 86.25. $86.25 on the ES. Now the open this morning was up at 88. Okay. Close was at 86.25. Open is at 88.25. Pardon me, 88. So you're looking at point and 3/4, just a little under 2 points. Okay. So when you go back to the INX here, come on. Well, we'll just use this screen. Here it's saying 88.77. So 2 points take us to 90.77. So a little less than that. And we opened at 93. So quite a bit higher, a couple of points higher than we would have expected, really. So little wonder that the market dropped off very quickly at the open. We were too high. So you got to watch that. Really got to watch that. Look at where that open really ought to be. It was way too high. So that should have given you a little bit to work with. And now, just as we were talking about, there's your low value area from yesterday. And we've dropped right below that. So short we were and short we are. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have. So let's see if we can't get a better idea as to where we're going to find some support in here before we conclude. So the low value area is at 81.15 on the INX. And we talked about a short in here anyway, because of the pattern. So I think maybe we are short. We're not going back up. We may go up back up to a little bit of area of repair, but I think we need to be planning on this continuing down and staying short and looking for any opportunity to get short. And when you look at that big area of gap in here, below 77.50, right? That looks real promising. That we're going to go down there today. So, yeah, really, until we break through there, I don't see any reason to be doing anything but staying short in here. At whatever opportunity there is to get short. A little bit of an overbought condition, get short and stay short until we head down into that region. So that's the call. It is what it was overnight. Head and shoulders type pattern, 77.50 at least, and then breaking through that to fill this area of gap. That takes us, the gap itself will take us right down, most recent gap, to about 74.5. 74 and a quarter, really. Yeah. Okay, that wraps up our expectations for the morning. And I'm Rod Kusin, Spoon Man for Risk.